What is up, YouTube? Trollkin here. Welcome back to Draw Phase. And in today's video, we are going over the champions that are going to be in Spiritforged. So we know of 7 so far. Riftbound has released those details to us. However, the rest of them are quite a mystery. However, the color combinations have been revealed via X post from Riftbound. So we're just going to do a quick little deep dive and a little bit of theorizing of either where the champions belong and what colors, and also what potential champions we're going to see when Spiritforged comes out. So really exciting stuff. But before we get to the video, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm giving away 3 structure decks if we reach 1,000 subscribers. So, hit that button and then you might win something. So let's just go over the picture real quick, right? So on their Twitter account, they revealed this little graphic here. So obviously, we know of Ezreal, we know of Fiora, we know of Irelia. Ornn has been confirmed, right? They did that like who's that champion type thing, like Pokemon. And the community got it right. It is Ornn. Draven we also got right. And Rumble and Lucian have been also confirmed from Riftbound. But that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more champions. Now, if they're only releasing 12 champions in a 200 plus card set, I find that kind of like that's not that many. So either or, some champions will get both colors, right? Because these aren't legends, right? These are just champions, so they will only be one color. So it may be the case that we are getting of the champions, for instance, is Ezreal, a 2-colored, like 2 champions in one of each color, right, wherever it belongs. So let's start with Ezreal. In fact, so Ezreal has been confirmed. I feel like the color combinations, if either 1 or 2 champions, I think it belongs in blue and purple, right? I think I mean, a lot of people will indicate that it might be under blue and yellow just because, it fits with Lux if it's going to be like more of a spell deck because of the character, the way it works. I think Teemo needs a little more support when it comes to spells and everything, especially hidden cards, so maybe it'll help out with that. And, it could be the blue champion, right? And then later we might get a yellow champion, but I have a good guess of what blue and yellow is going to be, so we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I think Ezreal fits like the colors pretty well when it comes to blue and purple. Next is Fiora, which was already actually, we know that already. The structure deck graphic is out. It is going to be under orange and yellow. Nothing crazy about that. We'll get into Rumble. We also know as well, right? It is going to be blue and red. That is confirmed. So no really point in discussing in that. It's going to be geared, obviously, because they in the box set or on the box, right? It dictates that, it's going to be like more tribal themed, right? With mechs and everything. So next is Irelia. Irelia is interesting. So if we look at like the lore from Irelia, like it's Ionian, I believe. So I think it fits well with actually, let me check that out real quick. Stand mistaken, I'm sorry. Irelia is Ionian, however Leona is Mount Targon. That's like the flavor text on where they come from, and I think that's gonna actually, and the reason I bring that up is I think it's gonna play a crucial role, because I think they're gonna involve a game mechanic where it targets either what type of unit it is in either champion or like a Yordle or a pirate or anything like that, and also where they come from, because those flavor texts, right, are on the card for a reason. It's just we don't know why yet. So obviously some type of like tribal mechanic will be involved. Other than that, I still think that Irelia does fit in green and yellow. It is an Ionian card, and there are Ionian cards with that adhere to the yellow domain, right? So I think it fits that well. I think like, it's a combat champion or should be, and right now we're just theorizing, right? So I could be completely wrong, but I feel like, green and yellow will probably be where Irelia is going to go. I just think it fits really well. And then moving on, let's go into Ornn, right? So Ornn is Freyordian, right? It is the Freyordian god of forges or something like that, I believe, or something along the lines of like the Freyordian blacksmith or something, right? So if it is a Freyord, I think it has to be red and orange, right? Because that's what Volibear is, and I think that's pretty concrete, right? Like I think that's a really really good assumption that Ornn will be red and orange because it just a lot of orange cards are Freyordian. Granted, a lot of red cards are Noxus. However, even the Volibear, the Tryndamere, sorry, is also red, and it is Freyordian. So I think Ornn fits perfectly with orange and red. Moving on to Draven. So we do have a red Draven already. So I think that what they're going to do is actually they're going to make a purple Draven, kind of complete the set, right? So Draven will cover the color combos of red and purple. I think it fits very well. I think purple needs a little support when it comes to units too. So, red Draven is a very strong champion, right? It's being played. It's in a lot of decks. So hopefully they make this card just as strong, right? And just to give like purple a little bit of a boost. Rumble, we talked about. Lucian is something that I think is probably the hardest to think of. But I'm pretty much like, I put Lucian on the back burner, theorized what the other 5 champions are, and kind of put it on the last spot. So I think what makes the most sense is that Lucian will probably be red and yellow. I think that fits very well. It's very aggressive, maybe some type of range nonsense. Maybe you can shoot things like Caitlyn. I don't know. That's like the one card or like one champion that I just like. I'm not too 100% sure on. I just think like based off like what I theorize will be the other champions, this is probably the best slot for it. So going to the ones that we don't know about, there's 5 spots, right? So going into the first spot, I think when it comes to orange and I'm sorry, not orange, green and blue, I think we're gonna see Karma in there actually. Now, Karma is generally, it is a yellow card as of right now. However, I think it's going to be a card that is going to be spread into 3 different colors and then leading into maybe like 3 color combinations, maybe by set 4 or 5. It's just a versatile unit. Its effect in yellow right now is actually incredibly strong and really good. It's just hard to get to. It's kind of like a risk reward type of situation. But yeah, I just think it fits well in blue in types of control, orange in types of buff. We're just gonna go and lock it in with green and blue. Moving on to the next one, what I would really love to see, I think orange and purple, right? So obviously Pirates, Bilgewater, I think Gangplank, why not? Gangplank is just like a really cool champion. I love playing with Gangplank's ability in Legends of Runeterra, right? With the powder kegs, maybe there'll be some type of like gear effect where you can make powder kegs and pretty much the same thing. They do 1 damage to a unit or even more. I think that it just fits really well. I think Pirates is a thing, right? I think Pirates will be a tribe, and also Bilgewater is going to be really relatively important when it comes to Pirates. And who other than Gangplank himself to be a new orange and purple champion. So we're going to lock that in orange and purple. Moving on to the next one. So we do have, I think, we do have already a green Caitlyn. What I like to see is a orange Caitlyn. I think Caitlyn fits well in the colors of orange and green. So we're going to lock in Caitlyn as the potential champion, right, for the orange and green color combination. Although Caitlyn isn't seeing much play right now, right, the current one we have, it is still a good card. It's just like, where do we put it in, Maybe when the orange Caitlyn comes out, right, in Spiritforged, I think maybe it'll make it a little more concise, make it a little more versatile. Maybe there's a benefit of running both of them in like a Master E deck or something. So I think that is like pretty safe to say, right? Because like we only have the one color, right? So we need another one, and I think it fits best in like a Master E deck, orange and green. So moving on to the next one, we have 2 more, blue and yellow. All right. Now, what I just would like to see, just for purely like based off the Arcane TV series, is Jace, right? Why don't we have Jace yet? I think it'll fit well in Piltover. Those are the colors for blue and yellow. We need a Jace champion. Hey, like why not even a Jace legend in the future? And as far as we know, there's going to be 2 legends so far. So maybe there's going to be a Jace legend. Maybe there's going to be a Jace 2-color champions. We don't know, right? They did that with Victor, right, where he is the the legend for blue and yellow, and also there's both Victors in those color combinations. So, maybe Victor's buddy is gonna pop in and help out the deck a little bit. So I'm pretty much set on. I hope, dude. I hope so. We'll have a Jace champion, if not a Jace legend, in Spiritforged. And lastly, purple and green needs a lot of help. So as of right now, Yasuo is like struggling. It is a good deck, right? But it's like mainly running just the one Yasuo, maybe some other units, but it is based on either moving in with the Yasuo, doing the 6 damage, or even the move Yasuo where you're scoring extra points. Looking at the lore, looking at the champions, I think Wukong would be a great addition to green and purple, mainly because like just from the lore standpoint, like they've actually become like friends, right? As far as I read, like Wukong's bio, they're like longtime friends and stuff like that. So I think also just the aesthetic of the character and what it does, it fits well with those color combinations, somewhat control-y, somewhat hard-hitting, right? So I think Wukong will actually be really cool. I hope we see one. I hope we see 2 champions in a green and a purple Wukong. That would be pretty cool. And yeah, so that is just my quick take on what we'll see. We have 5 champions that we don't know about. Maybe these are the ones, maybe not. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'm dead maybe I'm absolutely right. But yeah, so that's it. I just wanted to make a quick little video discussing about the potential champions coming up in Spiritforged. Pretty exciting stuff. We are 3.5 weeks away from release, thank God. I've played the game on TTS for about 3 months, so I'm very excited to actually get the physical copy and start going to local tournaments, playing with some buddies of mine, maybe meeting up with them. And then, yeah, so that's it. So I've rambled on enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, enter yourself to win that structure deck giveaway. I've been Troll King. Thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.